It's 2025, the TikTok ban was almost a big thing, and people were genuinely frightened by that. Why is that the case? We know the word brain rot, we know what it means, and we know how we get it and how we do it to ourselves, and yet people are still addicted, they're hooked. It's like we kind of just lightly brushed over that. I myself, I have given myself brain rot since I got my hands on a laptop, seriously. I've been consuming junk content all the fucking time, no purpose, just to stimulate my own brain. And then the iPhone came around and I've just been scrolling on Instagram Reels all night. And it's fucked up. It gives you so much dopamine. That's what the content does. That rubbish content that has no fucking value to it. You know the content I'm talking about, like those drama channels or just pointless like skits or just pointless facts or just pointless memes and stuff. They're all funny and all, but they're so fucking addicting and they're so stimulating to our brain that it actually takes away the natural dopamine that we get from doing the things that we love doing genuinely. Like working on our passions, our projects, our long-term meaningful goals that take a bit of a delayed gratification. And we're so wired now in today's society to fucking chase the instant gratification. That's what brain rot is. And I think if we can I think a way to get out of brain rot, I guess like the first step, instead of going cold turkey and saying no to all these things that we've been so addicted to, I don't know if that will get us far. And I think just by tapering off the content you're consuming or changing the sort of content you're consuming. So if you're so addicted to TikTok and Instagram Reels and just dumb fucking Netflix TV shows, then why not switch that for like educational podcasts that have like no editing? And so that way you're forced to watch an 1 hour worth of content of just two people speaking, talking about life, facts, things you can learn, philosophy, values. And that's still content, you can still binge that, but I think that's so much better and it gets your brain trained and accustomed to watching things or experiencing things that aren't so hyper stimulated, that aren't built to fucking trigger all these little impulses in your brain. The first thing you do when you wake up, and like I'm so big on meditating and praying or going for a walk or just doing something that gets me out of that hazy state. And the complete opposite of that is if you grab your phone and just start scrolling the first thing or looking at emails or whatever. I think we need to protect our brains. We need to be so conscious of what we're giving to ourselves, because if you're constantly chasing the fucking instant gratification, you're going to have so much of a harder time concentrating, focusing, being productive, taking action towards serious goals that you guys know you should be working towards. And that's something I've struggled with my whole life, and I'm still trying to learn myself. I guess the last few months I've been very intentional with it, and I've only been consuming, or 95% of my content that I do consume, that they've all been educational, like contents, like successful speaking about how they got there or tips and tricks they've learned. Like learning from these guys, it almost doesn't feel like content sometimes, but that's a trap in itself. You can get lost in that sort of content and just scavenging the internet for like the most successful people and everyone else's ways of doing a certain thing, taking action and focusing on your goals. Oftentimes they don't bring much success in the beginning, but they're the ones, or they're the actions or the types of things that we should be focused on actually working towards. And to cure brain rot, I honestly think the first easiest step is, again, to just kind of dial down the fucking content you're consuming. Right now, it's on fucking, like, our brains are literally fried, and they're not going to accept anything that's kind of undercooked. So you're gonna kind of start feeding yourself content that is cooked, but like it's not as triggering. There isn't much seasoning on it, I guess. It's like for people that are they eat junk food the whole life and now they're fat. You don't want to just give them a plate of greens. That's not going to do anything. So you want to kind of tell them that they can have a cheat meal a couple of times a week, but 80% of their content or their diet should be healthier, unprocessed, somewhat good for them or better than their regular diet. So I think content is the kind of diet for the brain. And what I want you guys to be doing is to be journaling instead, reading. I know those won't be stimulating. So if you can't stick to those, then as I said, stick to the fucking podcast, the content that's actually going to provide value for you. That isn't just fucking made to stimulate little emotions inside of you. I think that's one thing I've done for myself. And listening to other people speak about their successes and their journeys and them taking action and their going through all the highs and lows, like that fucking motivates me. That genuinely fires me up. So it gives me value and entertainment at the same time. And it helps me take action towards the goals that I'm actually trying to achieve. So yeah, hopefully that one fucking helped you guys. It is I, Johnny fucking Lee. Good night.